I'm Francesca Braud, and I teach the 3rd grade accelerated class at Woodlawn Elementary. This class is composed of students who are well below grade level and need intensive intervention support in order to close their academic achievement gaps. I have 21 students, 3 girls and 18 boys. I have 3 students who are autistic, 1 with selective mutism, 9 who receive ESS services, 7 with ESL services, 10 who are in speech, and 7 students who are dyslexic. At this time, only 3 of my 21 students are reading on grade level, so we have a long way to go. For this lesson, I chose to do some cross-curriculum content. The majority of our day is spent focused on reading and phonics and fluency, comprehension, and writing. So I try to bring in content from science and social studies to cover those standards as we learn how to read. We are currently in the middle of our life science unit, so I chose leveled passages on animals, habitats, and adaptations. For my particular students, it's important that I get them engaged, that I get them fully absorbed in the material at hand. To do so, I generally come up with a classroom theme, classroom decorations, and even wacky costumes. Because when they are excited about learning, they are engaged and they're going to retain what they have learned. This lesson is the beginning of an extended group project where students are going to be able to show their understanding using their different talents like drawing and acting and writing. I'll be able to assess them in multiple ways for science and ELA. The group projects I have found are very important post-COVID. Students are struggling with that social aspect. So learning how to work together and take turns and being patient with others is important for my class. Incorporating the dioramas also give my students the opportunity to get hands-on with the plants and animals in their habitats, which will help those who need that extra kinesthetic and visual attribute. Keep in mind, as you watch this video, that I have a very special class.
Exploring habitats. Today we will begin an animal adventure.
Good job, thanks. Click. All right.
You will become an expert zoologist. The first order of business is research. Let's take a look at what that means.
Thanks, Everett. Hold on 1 second. And what is a zoologist? Who remembers? Joseph?
A zoo expert?
Kind of like a zoo expert. Saddam? They study animals. Good. KJ? A scientist. All right, so we are going to become a zoologist, Wyatt. And we have to first research some Today's reading objective. Chase, tell us about our first one.
I can ask and answer questions about what I read.
That's right. So as you're reading with your group, you're going to ask each other questions about what you read. Then you're going to take turns and you're going to call in somebody in your group to be able to answer those questions. But when they answer those questions, they need to be able to prove that they are correct. So read us that second one, Amir.
I can find key detail in a text to prove that I'm correct.
Beluga whales live in cold oceans. They live mostly by Russia, Greenland, and Canada. So do any of them live by us in the Gulf of Mexico?
No,
Why not?
because they live cold, near cold places. Canada.
Well, is the Gulf of Mexico cold?
No.
What is it? All right, Wyatt, go ahead, ask us a question.
Beluga whales.
All right, we gotta start with the question word. What? When? Where? Why?
How do beluga whales keep away from killer whales? To stay away from killer
Can
whales.
anybody answer that question? No, why not? Did we read about that yet? Sorry, it's gotta be a question that we can find the answer to. For instance, what color are baby whales? He says white, you say gray. Where does it say white? I know, you say gray, he says white. Prove it. Who's correct here? Is Wyatt correct or Harold? Where does it say what color they are? This says this is not where their babies are. Beluga whales are white, but what color are the baby whales? What color are the baby calves? Where does it say what color the babies are? Where does it say that? Come on, Albert. Where does it say that what color their babies are? Find the word babies. B-A, start at the 3rd paragraph. B-A, B, you found the word babies? So let's read that sentence. He is looking right after the part that we highlighted about the fish and the mussels. It says beluga whales have one baby at a time. Their babies are called calves. They are gray at birth. Highlight. They are gray at birth. So who was right? Was it Harold or Wyatt? Wyatt. That's right. But if Wyatt can't prove it, then he's all. What is this? A puffin. Very good. These are puffins. But look, here's a whale, and here's a whale, and here's a whale, and this looks like a whale. There's 4 different ones. How do you know which one is the beluga whale?
Because it has white.
Because it's white. What else do we know about the beluga? Well, this guy's fat. That guy's fat. What else did we learn about it?
Because they don't got the
Head. What size is their head? What is it shaped like?
A melon.
A melon. Very good. So this head is more shaped like a melon than that one or either of these.
Hey everyone. I have a question. What helps a jaguar survive? Lena.
Jaguars have adaptations that help them live in the rainforest.
Can you prove it?
I highlighted it. It's in the last paragraph in the first sentence.
Anybody have a question about what we just read? What does scorpions look like?
They look like these. It have 8 legs. A stinger with poisonous. 2 big pinchers that it can cut your hand off.
Okay, so now that we finished up with our groups for today, let's wrap it up. Did we meet our objectives? Thumbs up if you asked and answered questions in your group. Thumbs up if you asked and answered questions. If you can share with us a question that somebody in your group asked. Did somebody have a question that was asked and was really smart? Chloe.
Kendrick, he said, what does a scorpion look like?
What does a scorpion look like? Okay, and did the person who answered the question give evidence from the text?
Yes.
Okay, any other groups? Any other groups? All right, Chase.
So I said, what helps a jaguar survive? And Lena answered it by looking in the text and finding that they are adaptive.
Very good, very good. Excellent. So we did ask each other questions and answer the questions using evidence. I know that nobody has learned about the Arctic animals except for my group. Does somebody in the Arctic group want to share something they learned today about their animal? All right, Trajan, come up here to the front. Tell us about the animal that you learned about. Wait, first, why don't you go get it from the diorama? Very carefully. They read about the beluga whale. All right, tell us about the beluga whale.
So they swim in the water, and then when it catches, they catch their breath. When it go up, it catches breath, and then
How did you know that that one was the beluga whale?
because it's white and they have watermelon.
A watermelon what?
A watermelon head.
A watermelon shaped head. Very good. Did any other group learn about a new animal they want to share with us? Okay, Amir, do you want to go see if what animal did you read about today? Thank you, Trajan.
Rodent.
You learned about a what?
Rodent.
A road runner?
Yeah.
Okay, which one's the road runner? What did you learn about your road runner today?
The roadrunner can live in they can eat the eggs. The roadrunner runs very fast, and also they can eat snakes, insects, and fruit, and also kind of food stuffs.
Well, I like that they eat snake.
My goal as a teacher is to be the teacher that I wish my daughter had. So when I create a lesson and when I reflect on it, I'm always thinking, what would my daughter say about it? Would she give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Would she have maybe given me 2 thumbs up? Or would she have remembered anything at all? My daughter is a tough crowd to please. She has ADHD, she is dyslexic, and she does not like school at all. So I'm always thinking of her in the back of my mind when I'm planning. I want to make it something that she would remember, that she would learn something from, that she would be excited to tell me about when she got home from school. This video does not do our class justice. This was not my best lesson. We had just come back from a 2-week break and we needed to review routines and procedures for sure. You know, when a student is gone for an extended period, they lose a little something. But when my students are gone from school for an extended period, they lose a lot. And I think that had we done this video at a different time, you would have seen more meaningful conversations, better transitions, and you would have really seen how much my class has already grown. You know, this video does not capture that. It does not show how much growth we have made this year already. In the video, I'm working with my lowest group. They are selective mutism, identifying the letters in the alphabet, ESL students who just moved to the country last year and the year before. So with the video time constraints, I was not able to let them read orally. And you also see their conversation skills are not there. It's still a goal that we're working on, using complete sentences and restating. They are engaged though. I think all the kids were super excited that we were going on animal adventures and they were excited to put on their explorer gear. They did love the animals that they chose and their habitats. They were definitely interested in the material, and I definitely think that they're going home to their parents, guess what we did today? Oh my God, Miss Bro's crazy. But I think that they were engaged, and I think that they did enjoy what they read and they knew something. If I were to do this again, I would probably videotape myself with a different group so that you could really see more of those conversations. I am proud though, when I walked around the room, that my independent group, my higher level group, they were working together. They were asking and answering questions. They read the passage entirely and they annotated it, highlighted it, they answered the questions, they completed the task, they met their objective. They're holding academic conversations and they were finding text-based evidence. And I heard them say, oh my gosh, look at that, it's right there, it's in paragraph 3, it's right there. And so I was so proud of them that I had to stop. No, let's get this on video. I mean, it was amazing to see how far they'd come. The fact that 7 students worked without any adult assisting them for 20 minutes was huge in itself. I mean, major victory in itself. My other group, my middle group, with the help, a little help from our ESS teacher, they were able to read the passage in its entirety. They were able to complete the task and answer the questions. I did hear some academic questioning. They were able to answer the questions correctly out loud to each other, but they weren't quite there with the finding it in the text. There was never any, hey, it's in this sentence, or hey, it's in this paragraph. So we are still working on that. I mean, you can see there are clearly 3 different levels in my classroom. I think the standard ask and answer questions is not super rigorous, but it's always used as a Part B question. And it is a great starting point for below level students. And the fact that my students were able to ask each other academic questions, you know, text-based questions, I think that is what made it higher level for my class. So while the standard might not be the most rigorous for an average 3rd grader, for my class, they made it rigorous by asking each other questions and by really finding it in the answers there. So I am very proud of them. I am especially proud of my 2 students at the very end of the lesson who were able to go and identify the animal they read about, explain how they identified it, and then tell all these details about them. I mean, for those 2 particular students, that was a huge feat. That was amazing to me. It was not scripted and I didn't have to redo it. I mean, it was amazing. It was mind-blowing for me. So I'm very proud. We still have a lot of growth to go. You know, we've come a long way, but I think this video, I think it shows where we are middle of the year. I would have expected to see more, but I think that had we taped it next week or the following week, it would have been better. But I can't wait to see how much more growth we make and see where we are at the end of the year.